Thank you. It's an honor to brief you here for my post in Bolivia and bring to light the social status, successes, and challenges facing women in this country. It's certainly a dynamic environment here for women in Bolivia. The desire to improve the health, economic, and social status of women in this country is certainly there, but there are roadblocks to implementation that continue to keep change at bay. Let me share with you a few daunting statistics. Bolivia has the highest maternal mortality rate of all of Latin America and the Caribbean, and one of the highest in the world. In Bolivia, the female illiteracy rate is nearly double that of males, with many young women leaving school early to pursue jobs in the home or as low-skilled workers in the economy. Violence against women in Bolivia is pervasive, with 62% of women reporting some form of domestic violence at least once in their lifetime. Many of these statistics are remnants of the culture of machismo that still exists in some parts of South America. And it's a culture that supports the treatment of women as sexual property, which is strengthened by the fact that a large percentage of the population still lives outside of major cities and in very remote rural areas that are difficult to reach. Despite these setbacks, there have been some positive signs in the past 10 years that change is coming to Bolivia. A new health law required 6 months postpartum care for all women bearing children in Bolivia, in addition to free health services for all children under the age of 5. About 18 to 20% of the parliament seats in Bolivia are now held by women. And the fertility rate is dropping. It's now down to about 3.8 children per family, down from over 6 from the 1970s. To give more perspective on this issue and the challenges, I am lucky to have with me today Inigo Montoya, native Quechua Indian and champion for women's rights in Bolivia. Inigo, thank you for taking the time to be with me here today.
Thank you, Lacey.
Inigo, from your perspective, what do you think some of the largest factors are that affect women in Bolivia and prevent women from gaining ground in social status and economic status?
Well, Lacey, as you know, this issue is very complex. There is freedom by law that is not exercised in practice. And honestly, we are not able to reach a large percentage of the women, especially Indian women, who live without the modern-day convenience like phones or televisions. They are isolated in a culture that doesn't support change.
And Inigo, how does the highly polarized society, the whites versus Indians, East versus West, been reflected in sex and gender stratification?
Because of that and the extreme poverty, women are still treated as sexual property, as long as poor families believe that the only way to a better life is through a daughter marriage to a wealthy man. No education, this mentality will continue.
Are there almost two ways of life for women in Bolivia, those in the large cities and those in the rural areas?
Yes, there are differences. We have women, mostly in large cities, who do have access to the world media and the idea of a better life, education and other change. But even educating women don't always find employment as more than a low-skilled worker.
And do you think the programs intended to change things in Bolivia are actually succeeding?
Yes, some are. But many programs delivering contraceptives, health education, and other services to rural areas are dependent on external aid. Rocky relationships with countries like US, a major contributor, are no good for business, as you say.
Thank you for being with us here today, Inigo. We appreciate your time and we wish you the best as you continue to champion women's rights in Bolivia.
Thank you, Lacey.
Thank you. As you've heard, despite the progress made in recent years in Bolivia, with an ever-changing and unstable government, progress is still very difficult. I will continue to track things and the progress of women here in Bolivia for you. Live from La Paz, Bolivia, this is Lacey Slacky. Now back to you.